Benjamin Harrison was the grandson of President William Henry, making him the only grandfather and grandson duo. The fun fact about Harrison's presidency was that he was so afraid of electric switches that he had White House staff operate them. He was also the first president to use electricity in the White House, but he and his wife were afraid of being electrocuted. William McKinley was the third president to be assassinated. He was killed by an anarchist while attending an exhibition in New York City. McKinley always wore a red carnation for good luck. He gave his carnation to a little girl just before he was shot at the Pan American Exposition, leading some to believe that giving away his good luck charm led to his fate. With the assassination of President William McKinley, Theodore Roosevelt took his place and became the youngest president in the history of the United States at the age of 42. Just like his predecessor, he too was shot while delivering a speech, but fortunately survived. The only president bigger than Big Steve was President William Howard Taft, who weighed 330 pounds. He once got stuck in a White House bathtub and had to be helped out. He later installed a larger tub to fit his size. Taft was also the only president to serve as Chief Justice of the United States after his presidency. Woodrow Wilson was the only U.S. president to have held a Ph.D. However, during his time, Wilson's wife, Edith, effectively ran the government after he had a stroke. She controlled access to him and made decisions on his behalf, leading some to call her the first female president. A controversial president, Warren G. Harding, is truly only remembered for sneakily appointing his friends as officials, which they unfortunately used for their enrichment. His presidency was also marred by scandal, including the infamous Teapot Dome scandal. Love letters from Harding's affair were discovered years later, revealing explicit details. Coolidge was popular for, well, doing nothing. He quotes a saying that he spent much of his presidency avoiding big problems. Coolidge had a pet raccoon named Rebecca that roamed the White House. He also had a quirky sense of humor, often playing pranks on his staff. Herbert Hoover and his wife both speak Chinese. They frequently spoke with each other if they wanted some private conversation in the White House. Herbert was also very, very rich, amassing $100 million as a mining engineer. Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, has a record for serving the longest of any U.S. president, having served from terms he was elected in 1932, 1936, 1946, and 1944. He led America the most during World War II from a wheelchair. He was paralyzed from the waist down after contracting polio. Harry S. Truman is best known for authorizing the use of nuclear weapons for the first and last time ever in history. On the 6th of August, 1945, Truman authorized its use in the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Dwight D. Eisenhower was the first president to ride in a helicopter. He loved it so much that he asked the Secret Service to replace limousines for short trips to and from the White House. NASA was also established during his presidency, and he approved the first U.S. space mission in 1945. John F. Kennedy was the last president to be assassinated in the United States so far. He was traveling in an open convertible with his wife when 3 mysterious shots were fired at him. Of them stuck in his neck, while the other in his head killed him instantly. Lyndon B. Johnson is best remembered for continuing the war in Vietnam by sending an additional 500,000 troops during his presidency. Did you know Johnson loved to scare guests by driving his amphibious car into lakes, pretending the brakes had failed? He also had a habit of conducting meetings while sitting on the toilet. Richard Nixon, a Republican president, became infamous for his involvement in the Watergate scandal. He orchestrated illegal spying on Democrats, including a break-in at their offices and the secret recording of conversations in his own office. Ultimately, he was caught and forced to resign. Gerald Ford, the 38th President of the United States, was a model and appeared on the cover of Cosmopolitan before politics. He also survived 2 assassination attempts during his presidency, both in 1975, both in California, and both by women. He was the only president in U.S. history who became vice president and president without being elected to either position. Jimmy Carter's presidency was marked by economic problems. Inflation and unemployment rose dramatically during his time while gas prices skyrocketed. The most bizarre fact about Jimmy Carter was reported seeing a UFO in 1969 before he became president. He also won a Nobel Peace Prize after his presidency for his humanitarian work. Ronald Reagan was an Hollywood actor before he ever became a politician. He appeared in more than 50 movies in his 30 years career as an actor. He was also famous for decreasing taxes for high-income individuals. President George H.W. Bush was a man of many achievements. He was the youngest pilot ever in the U.S. Navy. During World War II, he escaped from Japanese capture. He was also an ambassador to the United Nations and even the director of the CIA at one point. You will be amazed to know that Bush celebrated his 90th birthday by skydiving. Bill Clinton, the 42nd president, is well known for his charismatic personality and economic prosperity during his terms. He played the saxophone on national TV and was the second president to be impeached.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Following the Monica Lewinsky scandal. Despite the controversies, he remains a popular figure in American politics. The George Bush Jr., 43rd president, led the nation during the tragic events of 9/11, marking a defining moment in his presidency. He was also known for Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Bush's leadership during these crises significantly shaped U.S. foreign policy. Did you know Bush and his wife Laura have claimed to feel the presence of ghosts in the White House? The first African-American president of United Nations history was Barack Obama. Obama is best known for killing the mastermind of the 9/11 leader of the Taliban, Osama bin Laden, and dumping him in the ocean. You will be amazed to know Obama is an avid comic fan, particularly Spider-Man. Donald Trump is known for so many things. The 45th president was known for his unconventional approach and business background, making him the first president without prior political or military experience. His term was marked by significant policy changes, economic fluctuations, and a highly polarized political climate. Trump's presidency ended amidst controversy, including 2 impeachments and widespread debate over the 2020 election results. Joe Biden took office in 2021 as the oldest president in U.S. history. His administration has focused on addressing the COVID-19 pandemic, economic recovery, and climate change. Biden has emphasized unity and healing in a deeply divided nation, drawing on his decades of experience in public service. Fun fact about Biden is he has a serious love for ice cream and often talks about it in speeches. And that's a wrap. Which presidential fact blew your mind the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We can't wait to hear from you. Let's get the conversation started. If you enjoyed this wild ride through presidential history, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on more incredible content.